market, sort of a peer-to-peer market. You go on that platform, you register, you do your KYC, and then you can start trading. You can use your $C, buy a digital asset. It's like digital dollar. And he just moved to one of the European countries. When he went there, he just activated, all you need is an internet. And then he converted the Bitcoin to the currency of that country and then settled himself that fast.
But how safe is it? Would you say it's safe?
Well,
because considering you've mentioned hackers.
Yes. So everything you do, there's a risk in it.
But at least that's the bank, and I would like to believe once that's the case, you would definitely be refunded. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
As opposed to, is that the case with the...
For digital assets, since it's not a regulated market, there's nothing like a central bank who you are going to complain to and they will come and intervene. Learn first. Don't just see people going on social media and say, oh, I've made this much money on cryptocurrencies, and then you just jump in. You'll get wrecked. And see, some use cases I've noticed here in Gambia, because I've spoken to some people that uses it. I asked them, what do you use cryptocurrencies for in Gambia? So most of the people that I speak to will tell you that you have to make it yourself. No one will make that for you. Your parents can't make it for you. They can just guide you, but they can't make it for you. You have to make that decision, and I made that decision.
What is one thing you wish someone had taught you a long time?
Well,
Malik, what have you been up to since our last conversation?
Thank you very much, Sarah, and it's good to be here. I've been doing some research, looking into the newfound interest in digital currencies and also in data science. So I've been looking into it, watching a lot of podcasts and watching a lot of YouTube videos, doing some research, even practicing myself, getting scammed sometimes. Yeah, but it's a learning experience, a learning curve, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Wow, that's beautiful. You've mentioned digital currency. What is that?
So digital currency is digital money. I would simply put it that way. So given where money started, right? You have the cowrie shells that people used to transact, the gold and silver coins, and then now we are using paper money. That's the dollar, pound, euro. Everything is evolving. Now the world is evolving. We're in a digital age, right? So everything evolves. We have e-commerce now, and people pay digitally. And because of that, you have innovators thinking out loud. Like, why should it be difficult to transfer money from here to America or here to Nigeria? Why does it take long? So they become creative. That's when they created cryptocurrencies, which is like a person-to-person transfer, just like some mobile apps that I see. I don't want to mention the name before I give them free advert, but once you send it, the other person receives it. There's no intermediary. So cryptocurrency is digital money created using a technology called blockchain, where people can transact person to person without any intermediary. And most notably among the cryptocurrencies is the Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency that was created in 2009 by a famous person. He's popular but unknown. Right? People don't really know who he is. He goes by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Sounds Japanese, but people don't really know who he is. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. As you're saying, I'm trying to connect that to our Gambian settings, if you like. How does it work here in Gambia? Or do you think it's ever possible?
Well, to my surprise, when I visited this year, a lot of people asked me about it. In fact, people are using it right now.
In Gambia?
To invest, yes. People use it for investment. People use it to trade. People use it to remit money. Now, what's interesting is there's a crypto exchange called Binance. It's worldwide. So they started supporting currencies like the C, the Sierra Leone leones, and other African currencies. And what that means is they create like a market, sort of a peer-to-peer market. You go on that platform, you register, you do your KYC, and then you can start trading. You can use your $C, buy a digital asset. It's like digital dollar, right? And you buy it, and it's in your wallet, similar to how you have several wallets here. So it's in your wallet. And you can send it to anyone around the world. As long as you have their wallet address, that wallet address looks like an account number. You can just send it to them and then they can receive it instantly. And in that location that they are in, there's also a market called peer-to-peer market, right? And they can also trade it with anyone that needs it. So it's very fascinating how it works. And I just love the speed at which you can just move money anywhere. During the Russia-Ukraine war, there was a story by someone who said that when the war started in Ukraine, what he did is he sold all his assets and buy Bitcoin. That's the digital asset, and put it in his wallet. So the wallet can be in your phone, it can be in the cloud, it can be anywhere, it can be a hardware wallet. And he just moved to one of the European countries. When he went there, he just activated, all you need is an internet. And then he converted the Bitcoin to the currency of that country and then settled himself that fast. So the advantages are just numerous if you know how it works.
But how safe is it? Is it what you would say is safe?
Well,
Because considering you've mentioned hackers.
yes. So everything you do, there's a risk in it. There's a risk in it. If you don't understand what you're doing, you can fall prey to hackers, scammers, and currently there are a lot of scammers I had in Gambia that are actually taking advantage of unaware Gambians that are trying to venture into the digital currency world, and they get wrecked, right? They will just scam you because you don't know how it works. So for me, it's important to understand how it works because there's a risk element in everything that you do. The same way you're banking, there's a risk with your money in the bank. The bank can get hacked. So there's a risk that your wallet can get
But
hacked.
unless that's the bank, and I would like to believe once that's the case, you would definitely be refunded. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
As opposed to, is that the case with the...
No, for digital assets, since it's not a regulated market, there's nothing like a central bank who you are going to complain to and they will come and intervene. So it's like you are your own bank. You take care of your own security. You take care of your own risk. Right? So the risk, once you lose your money, there's nobody or central authority that you go and report to. So the money is gone. That's the risky part.
So how does it work? Like, for instance, now I've listened to you and I built interest in it. What's the first thing I will do?
So the first thing I advise most people to do is learn what digital currency is, how it works, what are the fundamentals, how do you secure it, how do you get a wallet, and that's it. That's the basic. Learn first. Don't just see people going on social media and say, oh, I've made this much money on cryptocurrencies, and then you just jump in. You will get wrecked. Learn what cryptocurrency is if you are really interested in it, and then from there you can get your own wallet. It's free to get a wallet. You can sign up on any of these exchanges and get a digital wallet. Right? You can buy the hardware wallet that looks like a flash drive. You can go with it anywhere you go, and that's more secured. So get that wallet. Once you get the wallet, fund the wallet, and when you have money in the wallet, you can do anything you want. And see, some use cases I've noticed here in Gambia, because I've spoken to some people that uses it. I asked them, what do you use cryptocurrencies for in Gambia? So most of the people that I speak to will tell you that I use it to unlock mobile phones. I use it to pay for some satellite subscriptions. So it was amazing how they use these digital currencies to get what they want to do, to run their businesses. And like I said, there are so many use cases, not just for investment purposes, but as long as you can use money, you can use the Gambian dalasi, you can use it the same way that you use the Gambian dalasi.
Ah, interesting. And that's quite a remarkable interest you've developed. So take us through what you've studied.
Okay, maybe I'll start from, because I want to give a shout out to my primary school, my alma mater, that's University of the Gambia. So I started my primary in Banjul at Mohammedan Primary School. Then from there, I went to St. Augustine's Junior, commonly called Pajuf. And from there, I went to Gambia High School. And I did my BSc in economics at the University of the Gambia. And I was among the lucky ones that went to Kenya under my current employer, that's Stan Chad. And I studied the ACI, that's the Financial Markets Dealing Certificate. That enables you to work in a treasury unit, like those that supports the banks and clients to do, forex transactions, fixed income products, and all those things.
Okay, wow. So of course you've studied economics.
Yes.
And it's only normal that one develop interest when it comes to cryptocurrency. Is that related?
It's related because it's all about finances, right?
Okay.
And economics is relating to finance. They're all related. And cryptocurrency, like I said, is digital money.
Yeah.
And since the world is evolving, you need to evolve with the world.
Obviously.
You can't just stay behind.
Yeah. So, as an economics, is that what you're currently, what your current profession is based on?
So my current profession is a treasury specialist, right? It's relating to economics. Is a broader sense where you look at the macros and the micros of the economy. But this is a specialized area where I studied treasury in terms of foreign exchange, in terms of fixed income products, and all the financial market products. So that helps, where I work. Because like I said, I'm now more specialized in the banking industry.
Right. What facilitated your interest into going into that, like studying economics? Of course, having understood the situation in Gambia, sometimes I'm challenged by having people tell me because you study economics doesn't mean that's what I did in university. But of course, when you do commerce, you have economics included, and you are told because you study economics, it means you are very economical.
Well,
so what actually prompted you to?
I'll share this. When I first finished my high school, when you just graduated from high school, you're still young. You don't really know what you really want to do. You don't really know where you want to specialize in. You just follow where you can get, a decent employment, because that's the mindset at that time. Like, okay, when I finish school, what should I do? I need a decent job. Which sector in the economy pays better? And obviously, by that time, it was the banking sector that pays better. And given the background in high school where I did commerce, it just made sense that I just go for economics. However, during that time I was enrolled in the university, I developed this interest in computer science. I love technology. People that know me knows that I love technology. So I developed interest in it. I even wanted to major computer science, but because of some requirements I didn't meet at that time, they said I can't have a degree in computer science, like a major. So I said, okay, that's fine. I can have economics as a major. Can I have a minor as computer science? They said, oh yeah. I said, oh, fantastic. So what I did was I did all the required courses for a major in computer science,
Okay.
along with a friend. So I get a minor in computer science and a major in economics. But the interest, like I said, later developed more into computer science. Yeah.
Wow, that's really beautiful. How would you describe your childhood growing up as, of course, seeing the fact that you've developed interest when it comes to, if you like, digital currency and data related issues? What would you say your childhood has been? Because sometimes we as kids growing up, our decisions are influenced by either what we see or people we watch. Was that the case with you?
Yeah, for me, I grew up in a well-cultured family, and my dad loved education. He always encourages us to learn, to read. And because of that, we build that interest in, it helps us, sharpen our curiosity just to learn anything that we come across. And because of that, when you have such support in the house that encourages you and that challenges you, sometimes my dad will challenge us, we'll have a conversation, we'll like debate on some issues. And then it opens your mind, really, it opens your mind. And because of that background, it really helped me in my career. Because it helped me, like I said, I'm a very curious person. So when I heard about this digital currency, I went into it. I spent hours watching videos. Sometimes my family would be like, what are you doing on the TV? Watching some graphs, some people talking. Don't you get tired? I said, don't worry. You don't understand why I'm watching, because I have the interest in it. So like I said, if you have that culture, that family background where you have that support, and everybody in the house, let's say you're in the house, dad is reading newspaper, maybe mom is busy watching news. So you would eventually grow up and have interest in some of those things.
So what therefore would you say, because you've mentioned that it's important that you have the support. What happens if a child growing up in a kind of settings where the support is actually lacking in that regard?
I think also the circumstance of the family. So if you grow up in a poor family, for example, because I grew up in a poor family, right? And you see how your father or your mom struggled to actually put food on the table. It will actually give you some sense of responsibility to think about how can I better our situation. It should not be this way. And since you're interacting with other people, other families, and you see how they live, I'm sure you would want to better your situation. And because of that, you would see how those successful people went through education and other things to become successful. And you would want to follow that path. So that could be a motivating factor, even if you don't have the support at home, but just your surrounding, because everybody wants to live comfortably. And if you want to be comfortable, you look at how comfortable people live, what got them there, and then you follow those footsteps, and you will be there.
I'm excited because you're looking at things in a positive light, and meaning, therefore, what we do as Generation Next, that is to inspire that person who has not gotten the support. But you will realize that the brain is set in a way that it sees more of the negative to that of the positive. So I am finding it challenging, especially now looking at the young people that we do see now, and it's not always the case.
Well, I think people want to progress, right? Naturally, human beings want to progress. Now, how you progress depends on you, right? You have to look at your surrounding. If I see, for example, a friend who's not progressing, and then I keep following that friend, I won't progress.
But you wouldn't know as a young person, because sometimes I feel, for instance, looking at a child that probably has taken the wrong way, because you are a child. You think as a child. Now you as the elder thinking that this should be the right way you should think, or this is the right way you should go, because you are an elder, so you are thinking more maturely. But as a child, not knowing that, what would you say in that regard?
Yeah, so for the child, that's where you have the parenting that comes in, right? So as a child, your brain is not that yet matured, and you're easily influenced. Now, it's difficult to make your own decisions as a child, because sometimes you make the wrong decisions. That's where you need mentors, guidance, and a lot more, so that you can be on the right path, right? And like you said, it's really tough when you go in the wrong way. It's really tough to redeem someone that has gone the wrong way. But people should not just give up, right? It's not just the family that needs to correct it, society at large. Because if I go the wrong way, I'm not just only disturbing my family, I'm disturbing society as a whole. Because if I commit a crime somewhere else, those people, I'm inconveniencing those people, right? If I commit a crime at home, I'm putting my family, at a very difficult situation. So it's not just the home, right? If you see something going wrong, if like in our religion, in Islam, they'll tell you, if you see something going wrong, say something to correct it. If you can't say something, right, just do something, or hate it in your heart, right? So everybody needs to do something. Don't just watch it and say, oh, it's not my business. So as a child, your support is not just your family, it's the entire society, right? And I think that's where we should start with.
Okay, looking at your situation, you've got the parents that supported you. Someone might be prompt to say, well, because the parents stood for him, it means therefore he had not put in the much needed effort to be to who he has become now. What effort would you say you have put to who you become?
Let me say this. I grew up in Banjul, and be specific, in Afdai. So most people, when you say Afdai, that time, they'll tell you, oh, that's where Nongo Banjul met, right? So you have a lot of peer pressure when you grew up in that certain area in Banjul during that time. I can remember I changed so many friends growing up in Banjul, right? I had friends where at some point, they ventured into smoking cannabis, right? I was just lucky, I would say, that I didn't go into it, because we were friends. We grew up together since we were, small boys. So I think it's about you making that personal choice and said, look, this is not good for me, and I think I deserve better. And then I look for something and ways that I can be better. It's a tough choice. Imagine grow up with friends like when you are still young, and then they're doing something that you're not comfortable with. So in your heart, you will feel that I'm not comfortable. This is not right. But yet again, these are my guys. We play football together, and it's time to chill. There's this weed going around. Why can't I just take a puff, right? So in your heart, you know it's not right, but you have this conflict. Like, okay, they're my guys. If I say I won't do it, they'll say, "Oh, he's a snitch. He's this, he's that." But like I said, it's a hard choice, and you have to make it yourself. No one will make that for you. Your parents can't make it for you. They can just guide you, but they can't make it for you. You have to make that decision. And I made that decision where I said, look, to be honest, I love my guys. They're still my guys, but I can't really mingle with them anymore because our objectives are no longer the same. Our likings are, no longer the same.
Right.
So I started, finding new friends. I got new friends though. They don't smoke, but they love women though.
Well, there would always something
but,
would always
but
go wrong.
it was something I can manage. I say, okay, these guys, they go to school, they don't smoke, decent guys. The only body is women, but that's manageable, right? So we started rolling, and then at least that motivated me that look, I'm amongst people that has the same likings, and we're heading to a similar direction, right? And I felt comfortable being there, and I felt okay, this is right. This is the right place for me.
And what age was this?
And that was like junior school to high school, like between grade 9 and 10. Right?
Okay.
And that's one of the most delicate
So around 13, 14, 15,
thereabout.
17. Because I graduated 17.
Yeah.
When I was 17.
And that's the most delicate moment in every person's life. If you fail grade 9, you hear the common time, oh, he's a dropout. Right? And then you're like condemned. In your mind, it's like, I can't do anything better. I'm a dropout. So the best thing I can do is maybe hang out somewhere, steal somewhere, or just do some. But you can be successful. There are successful people that didn't go to school, right? So, but like I said, it's a very delicate moment in your life, and that's the time you really choose your friends. Right? You make that tough decision. The decision that I made was tough, but if you really want to succeed, you need to make certain tough decisions. Even when you succeed, you keep making tough decisions.
Certainly, that's really remarkable. So we normally end with a last Gen 10, we call it here on Generation Next. And the first question I would ask you is, I've been through your LinkedIn and I saw a video that you shared, and it had to do with during the pandemic, things you've learned.
Yeah.
So my question goes, if I were a fly on your wall during the pandemic, what would I be seeing you doing?
Nice one. Well, you'll be seeing me mostly on the computer. Like I spend most of my time on the computer, right, behind the screen, and doing research. Like I said, I love watching YouTube videos, especially educational videos. I'll pick a topic. Let's say I come across something I don't know, and it's curious. And I said, what does this mean? So I just do a quick research just to have a basic idea, so that maybe when I'm having a conversation, I can at least say something or have a fair idea. So I looked at data science back then because where I worked, I see how we struggle with doing reports, spending hours, closing late. I said, this is not sustainable. At least there's always a better way of doing things. Now that technology is evolving, why not I do research on maybe Excel programming so that I can automate my reports and make it faster? So during the pandemic, I started doing that. I started looking at Microsoft Excel VBA, and it helped quite a lot because it helped me automate most of my reports, to the point that sometimes my colleagues would say, you don't have work to do, because I would sit and automate all my reports. Even sometimes before coming to work, it has sent out certain reports to certain individuals. And they said, when did you come in? I said, well, you got your report, right? That's the most important thing. So it helps, give me that flexibility. And then it opened my mind because there are so many things that you can do out there, and you can teach yourself. I learned data science by myself. Like I said, I sit on the computer, I look at YouTube videos. You have different learners. Some are visual learners, some love book. I don't really like book. If I hold a book, I will sleep. So I love the computer, I like learning, seeing what I'm learning. and it really helped me. I practice, and then I become decent.
But we are often told that when you read, you are more eloquent when you speak.
Well, I think I would differ with that because people have their different style of learning, right? If you read about cryptocurrencies today and you sit here and I watch cryptocurrency updates and all those things on YouTube, I can speak as well as you can. Right? So people have their different style of learning. Don't just fix yourself into, okay, this is the way people do it. You find what's suitable for you. As long as the knowledge comes in, you understand it, you apply yourself, and you're good. You're good. There's no one direction to success.
If you could make one positive thing, right, overnight, it could be general, what would it be and why?
I would love to create a platform where people come to express themselves, people come to develop their public and personal, relationships. People come to develop their public speaking. Because I noticed growing up, right, the culture that we have, it trains you to be timid. Even when you're very outspoken, you would see the elder say, "You don't have very why." Keep quiet. So it kills your self-confidence. And I would love to have something, I would love to change that, where you have that, platform where people come freely to express themselves, to become more eloquent and, become more confident. Because I know I struggled with that growing up, where I used to shy away from talking in public until I traveled to Nigeria.
Wow.
And then I came across Toastmasters. It was actually introduced to me by Ibrahim Sawane. He was here.
So
we had
him.
He introduced Toastmasters to me. And Toastmasters is a public speaking club where you go to learn how to speak in public and build on your self-confidence. And it was really helpful, to be honest. I never thought I could actually sit here and even do an interview. I used to shy away from these things. When you call me for an interview, I'll give an excuse. When we're in meetings, I'll be quiet, And when you do that, right, you miss so many opportunities because if you don't say something, if you don't speak, people don't really know what you can do or who you are. And based on that, you see opportunities will pass you by. For example, if you're in an office and maybe I'm very eloquent and you're not, or you're the smarter one, maybe you do even all the work in the office. When opportunities come, because I can speak very well, I can express myself, I get to get that role. While maybe I'm not even the best person for that role. So it's not just about being smart, but you also need to build that self-confidence and become more eloquent and face the public. People won't bite.
Certainly, I certainly agree with you. It's very important. Very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we would definitely love to see that change effective.
Oh, actually, we're working on that. Because Generation Next is part of it. So, and I, also based on my Toastmaster experience, it's something that I would love to maybe speak with the president of Generation Next and see how we can structure it in such a way where members can come and build on their public speaking skills. It's a fantastic place to be. Trust me, if you have that kind of setting where you have audience and then you just prepare a simple speech. The idea is not about how quality your speech is. The idea is how confident you are to just come and face an audience.
Certainly.
And say something meaningful.
Certainly.
That's all.
It's the most scariest.
And it's something I would like to, take up with the president and see how we can structure it and give that change to the society. Like I said, I grew up in a timid way, and I don't want other people to grow up that way because it actually hinders you from achieving so much. Right.
And what would you say, one or two things that you felt because you were brought up being timid? What would you say you've missed out on due to?
I would say there were a lot of opportunities. Even back in the days in the university where you have all these executive roles in these clubs, I shy away from them. And those clubs really help you because you have maybe the debate association club, but because you're timid, you're afraid of standing in front of public, you shy away from those clubs. And then you don't get the benefit of developing a public speaking skill, right? So that is something that, I really, if I could change the hands of time, I'd just join in those clubs and, build those skills before you venture into the real world where you start working and where you are forced to actually meet people and speak. Because once you venture into the real world, where let's say you're a salesperson, you can't just sit there and just say nothing.
Certainly.
You won't get paid.
Certainly.
Right. And when opportunities come, even for an interview, when you go for an interview for a role, and you can't really express yourself, even if you have all A's in your results, the one interviewing you will look at you differently. In fact, what will be in his mind will be, are all these A's genuine? Is it that?
Certainly, you begin to question that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No question.
So it's very important.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do regularly to promote mental and physical well-being?
Yes. Mental well-being, yes. Physical well-being, come see also. Yes. So for mental well-being, I have a Telegram group, right, and also a WhatsApp group where I get people to come together to network, one, and also to learn about what's currently trending in the digital space. For example, I have a Telegram page about digital currencies. I also have an X account, formerly Twitter, where I educate a lot of people about what digital asset is and how do you avoid scams. I can remember there was a huge scam in Gambia, championed by the AL Group. It was very popular. So a lot of people got scammed, I learned, and they were using cryptocurrencies to actually scam a lot of people. So because of that, that also motivated me to just create more awareness, let people be more aware. Sometimes some of these scams are just too cheap, right? Someone you don't really know, just from nowhere, message you and promise you so many things and say you should send money to someone or open a crypto wallet and just send money just like that. It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
What is one thing you wish someone had taught you a long time?
Well, it's Bitcoin.
Long time ago. Bitcoin.
I wish I learned Bitcoin when it was created in 2009.
Okay.
By now, I'll be a millionaire. You know why? Because by then, the price of that digital asset was less than $1. Today, the price of that digital asset went as high as $70,000.
Wow.
So imagine buying something at $1.
Yeah.
And now it's worth $70,000. It's just mind blowing.
What is one thing you love about your hometown?
My hometown?
Yeah.
I love the culture. I love the people. Right?
Yeah.
Like I was saying to you earlier before we started this interview, there's this culture we have where people are so tolerant, so patient, and so accommodating. So you can't find that anywhere. I've traveled to different countries. I've not seen such a culture. It's something that I really love about my country. And I love talking about Gambia wherever I go. I know at work, my colleagues will tell me, this is your Gambia.
Yeah.
You talk about it so much. I said, yes, because it's a place I want you to go and see. You will never see a place like that. The people are just accommodating. People are just so tolerant. And the culture is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what country were we talking about? Not Gambia. We're in Nigeria? You're now based in Nigeria?
Yeah, now I'm based in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. If you could eat one type of food for the rest of your life,
That would be tough.
what would it be and why?
Okay. I always go for chuikong. Chuikong is my favorite. So I can just have chuikong all the time.
Okay. Good to know. I like spakanja.
Ah.
I know I'm not asked, but I love to say it. Okay. What are you most excited about in life right now?
I'm excited about just being alive, just being grateful that God bless you with a beautiful family, and then God bless you with a beautiful religion, and you just have to take life easy. So I'm just excited about being, amongst my family, being me, and just being happy.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
First thing I do when I wake up, I pray.
MashaAllah. What's the last thing you do when you
Before going to bed,
Yeah.
I pray.
Oh, see you. Any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to say thank you to Generation Next, and just wanted to encourage Generation Next for the good work that they're doing, and also to encourage fellow youths out there that look, the downfall of a man is not the end of his life. There are so many opportunities out there. You don't need to learn to go and work for someone. You don't need to be educated to be successful, right? be you. Be comfortable being you. If you are amongst, a setting where you are not comfortable, don't be there. Don't be shy to walk away. Walk away and be in a place where you're happy. Your happiness is what matters. Just be happy and make sure others are happy. Don't deny others their happiness. Be happy and let others be happy.
Oh, I'm getting too emotional. I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure, really. Of course, you're also a member of Generation Next, so I forgot to mention that. Of course, I'm saying it now. And I like that advice. It's always important to be yourself.
Be yourself. Be
Yeah,
happy.
be happy.
And let others be happy.
And let others be